Hello everyone, and today we're going to be talking about the planet's diversity. First off, the kingdom of plants emerged about 410 million years ago as a green algae transitioning from water to land. The land had a rich resource base with a competitive uncolonist phase. Additional to these habitats, it provided more light and more carbon dioxide, essential for plant growth and survival for us humans as we know as today. Being multicultural and most definitely having photosynthesis, organisms living in both in water and on land, plants can find almost anything, or they can become any color: red, brown, green, and algae are along with the acquaintance of plants, mosses, fossils, gymnosperms, angiosperms, and among the pteronospore plants. Over the past 70 million years, flowers plants, known as angiosperms, have dominated this planet, as you can see right here. As we have living things today, they use the food, they use plants as resources to live on this thing we call Earth now. Depending on different characteristics, there are different types of plants. Plants have divided into a following groups according into their habitat and where they reside. Different plants survive. You have, for example, houseplants, as those plants are only able to survive indoors, as you have outdoor plants as this that only survive out in the wilderness, having that carbon dioxide. Then you have things up under the sea like algae, and then you have fish. But yes, this is our environment. Let's continue. Now, the first example that we do have, for plants, is hydrophytes. Hydrophytes is referred to a plant that's grown in or near water, such as plants that have a weak velocity tissue and a fragile stem and a poor root system. As you can see, this right here would be the large flat floating leaves that will be on top of the water when floating, and this will be the long stem that will be attached into the water, holding it from the root. Well, holding it, that's the fragile stem basically. And then here's the root that is embedded in the mud. And usually the root is the poor root that's easily be able to pull out or come out when in water. The majority of the tissue has air space and is a sponge. These plants most definitely have the following characteristics. They submerged, they fixed, float, and free floating in water. They're impetuous, meaning like party submerged. Okay, and then these plants need most moisture, dark environments to develop. These roots and their stems are almost have limited growth, and they're very fragile and spongy, meaning they don't grow as much. These leaves have stamens and are fully developed, such as like ferns, and certain types of grass are like common examples that we can say so far as hydrophytes. Let's go on to the next one. So the next example that I do have for us is halophytes. I think I might be saying it right. But these are plants that can only survive in saline water or in soil. As we have our picture right here, this is an example of like soil or saline water. They can tolerate high salt concentrations that have chemical bonding, as for example, sodium chloride, magnesium chloride, and magnesium sulfate oxide. These have a distinctive breeding root and have that negative geotropical minimum vegetable thing, like for example, Pseudopisces, which is a common example. And I'm going to pull up that picture, but I'm going to read this kind of picture that we have going on over here. First, they have potential salts of salt. Yes, high in salt. They restore heavy metal contaminating lands. They can tolerate that stuff. And then they have forage of bioenergy, wood and fibers, balanced carbon cycles, and they can reduce global warming because they're able to survive in those toxic chemicals that we're not able to grasp in our oxygen, but they soak up that oxygen, they soak up that toxic chemicals in our oxygen, so they can survive, and so we can have a breath, so we can breathe. Basically, we can be able to breathe. That's all I'm trying to say. Sorry. And then they mostly coastal protection. And they serve as a medical compounds as well. But hold on, let me provide another example. And these are other examples that we do have. For example, food, weeds, greening, vegetables, fruits, Chinese herb medicine, to heal the body, coastal protection, and biofuel. So the next one we're going to talk about, I'm not going to lie, these are my type favorites. These are mesophytes. Mesophytes are composed of majority of angiosperms. All those that grow in areas with moderate water availability. They usually grow fast and are large. These leaves and roots are well developed. The stem could be easily wooded, or they could easily have like a hard stem to it, like a weed. Some mesophytes, like delicate trees, some mesophytes are in the summer and extrophytes are in the winter, but we're going to talk about that in the next one. But mesophytes are most definitely in the summer. They bloom pretty in the summer when the sun is out, because they require a lot of sunlight but little water for it to continue to grow. Like I said, they do grow large just because of the modern water availability. And mesophytes has a trumpet in a fibrous root. You see how these are more scattered and more secure in their area. They're more scattered and more secure in the area, and this one's more spotted like a tree, but this one blooms. That's how I low-key remember them from mesophytes. And like I stated before, xerophytes. Now we're going to talk about them. They're low-key my favorite too as well, because they can be indoor plants too as well. So xerophytes are such as aerobic and neuronic and xerophonos are plants that are thriving in extra or dry environments or areas with limited access to water. These are the plants that you can somewhat have in your home, just because they don't ask for too much. They don't ask for too less, but they ask for just the right limit of access to water, just requires sunlight. These xerophytes are known as xerolistics because they store water in their stems and they keep themselves hydrated to the point where you don't have to water them at all. Like, for example, for vegetable wise, asparagus. You don't have to water asparagus because of the root being able to hold water for a long period of time. But these are extrovioles. And you will see, for example, a cactus, aloe vera plant, a fern, and a sticky plant. I think this is sticky plant, but I know these hurt when you get sticked on them. I sticked myself when I was a kid, and I told myself I would never ever go to a tree like that again. But cactuses and aloe veras are plants just because they can survive in dry environments because their root holds water. Now the next one I have for you is epiphytes. Epiphytes are plants that grow on trunks. You see, as this one right here, they grow on trunks for survival, not soil like everything else. Not like dry, common control like mepiphytes. But microphytes right here, they grow on trunks or branches on other plants such as orchards and grow on mango limbs too as well. These epiphytes are regarded as space pesticide. An example of colonists where the host is infected in a contact between an orchard which is the commensal, and a tree, which is being the host. So they always depend on something else for it to grow, just because it allows it to have like a communal host for it to be able to live. But just know, these right here, they require a trunk for them to live. Now in this example, let's just talk about the plants habitats that we do have. Trees, shrubs, herbs, creepers, and climbers. So I just want to get into contact more. Let's talk about herbs first. Herbs are the plants that have a short, green, fragile stem, typically have a brief lifespan, like wheat and grain. For example, like a hibiscus tree. They have much reduced underground stem proportions, where the branch of the flower develops an undergrowth part, where during it will causing more reproduction. The stem is known as the shrimp, or so for, like I say, an onion, for example. Okay, so the next one we're going to talk about is shrubs. Shrubs. These plants are more significantly woody and branchy with herbs. They generally have multiple stems, but no main axis, like roses, Chinese rose, a sunflower, etc. Those are more like shrubs, more like your picking flowers that your husband will bring to you. Your husband will bring to you. Was expectingly. But trees, let's talk about trees. So trees are the plants are thick, rigid, and woody, and more prolonging, and have longer, taller. They're more longer and taller, and they're more like a bushy top part. As I can say, you would definitely notice a trunk of a tree. Just because based off how it's cut and how thick that wood would be, you would definitely understand if it has been cut down, and you would know that it would definitely be a tree. So the next one would be the climbers. These plants are hollow. These plants, such as bamboo, they're like grass and cannot be classified as an herb, a shrub, or a tree because of their fragileness. And the creepers, that's just grass. The grass that we do have. Now, all this to say, why do plant diversity really matter? Now, we have Miss Angela McFern. We're going to listen to a little bit of what she has to say of why does it matter. And then I'm going to give you a summary of it.
We get over half our calories from just 3 of those species. So you might think the fact that 1 in 5 of those species of plants are threatened with extinction doesn't really matter. Maybe we lose a few. Does it really make a difference? Well, the difference it makes is to the diversity of life on the planet. Mm-hmm. And diversity means resilience. Yes. The more different kinds of plants there are, the greater chance there is that something will be able to adapt to and survive the changes that either the planet or we throw at them. To have any hope of conserving plant diversity, it's necessary to know exactly what's growing where. Mm-hmm. Using satellite imagery and geographic information systems, Kew scientists are able to produce vegetation maps of almost any part of the world.
One such project was the production of the Vegetation Atlas of Madagascar. This work was undertaken by Kew and a number of different international partners. One of those was a Malagasy who came over to learn geographical information system techniques in the unit at Kew.
Kew works in partnership around the world to discover and conserve plant diversity. Kew scientists are working with partners in Peru to conserve and reinstate the Hurango tree. The Hurango project shows that sometimes the key to saving an entire habitat starts with just one species.
Y el clima ha cambiado por falta de los guarangos y las especies nativas que conjugaban junto con el guarango han desaparecido en gran parte. Eso está permitiendo que vengan enfermedades, el desierto esté avanzando.
Through this project, the Kew has been collecting and propagating these important species of the southern forests of Peru. and this wouldn't be possible without the help of hundreds of people that live in the area. In fact, for us, this project, we are carrying out this project to conserve biodiversity, but in their case, it's to protect their home.
Esto era un campo vacío, desolado, pero gracias a Kew hoy es un jardín bonito que está propagando miles de plantas. Vamos trabajando ya hace varios años para propagar las especies nativas en nuestra tierra, en nuestra zona, mejorando el ecosistema también y creando microclimas en las zonas donde ya se había extinguido. Eso es importante.
This is what is important for all of us.
This is the Millennium Seed Bank of Wacres Place. Here we are conserving at -20 seed collection from all over the world, and we are working with around 120 collaboration worldwide. These seeds in reality are alive, and they will be in the future when some species will disappear from some part of the world where we have been collecting them. We will be able to germinate them and also to grow the plants and put them back in their wild environment.
1 in 5 of the world's plants is now threatened with extinction. Working with their global partners, Kew has shown that there is no technical reason why any of these plants should disappear forever.
Let me sum up this video. So, why should we care? Do we really need this much diversity? And the answer to that question is yes. There are 100,000 of different plant species in this world, but sadly we do not know. 1 to 5 are really threatened and they're more existent, like their extraction, like they're about to disappear from this earth. Just because we're building and we're growing as like economy. But yes, they're definitely important. We're just building up too much and we're killing our nature and our plants. And the plants are really the things that are helping us live on this planet. But yes, so the answer to my question was yes. It does matter because plant diversity means resilience. And resilience actually means, let me give you the definition of that. Resilience is the capacity to withstand or to recover quickly from difficulties. Now, does that not sign up exactly with what we're talking about when it comes to plants? It's most definitely a problem. Now, I do have another example to show of different plants or like a seed type plant of showing you like the growth in the environment of how it grows in a generation. So now we're going to discuss the security of the food legacies from generations to come. I have a little video of showing us a PowerPoint. It's probably 2 minutes long, showing us the growth of plants.
At first glance, seeds may not look like much. But within these seeds lies the architecture of thousands of different plants with thousands of different traits. It is these tiny seeds that hold the secrets to the foundation of our food supply and the possibility of a world without hunger. But these seeds are under threat. Our planet is getting hotter and hotter. Extreme weather events are becoming more frequent, leading to radical changes in farming and biodiversity loss. As a result, we are losing crop diversity at a rapid rate. Once a seed variety is gone, it could be gone forever, and with it, solutions. This means that our food and nutrition secure future is slipping quickly out of reach for all of us. We are facing a crisis, but we also have an opportunity to develop a food secure future. The Crop Trust is a non-profit international organization dedicated to conserving crop diversity and making seeds available for use globally for the benefit of everyone. Inside these gene banks, staff keep seeds safe and ready for use. Outside gene banks, scientists use them to carry out research and breed new varieties that are better suited to extreme weather and a warming planet. Gene Bank staff also share the seeds in their care directly with farmers to populate their fields. Together, we are adapting our food to the climate crisis and saving biodiversity while improving livelihoods and ensuring that everyone has enough healthy food to eat. We can save crop diversity. It starts with a seed and with the support of global partners.
And that is all that we have today for our segment of plant diversity. I hope you enjoyed this video and have a blessed day.